The AEM 21-734C cold air intake system is guaranteed to add horsepower and torque on the 2012 through 2015 Nissan Juke with a 1.6-liter engine. It features a custom aluminum air intake tube with a gunmetal gray finish with an oversized Dryflow AEM performance air filter that is washable and reusable. Visit AEMintakes.com for a complete list of models this air intake fits. With the 21-734C cold air intake installed on a 2013 Nissan Juke with a 1.6-liter engine, AEM dyno testing showed an estimated power gain of 14 horsepower and 13 foot-pounds of torque at 5,600 RPM. Actual results will vary depending on the condition of the vehicle, mileage, weather, and other variables. This AEM air intake system will add style, sound, and performance to your vehicle. This intake comes with all the components needed for an easy installation, along with detailed installation instructions. The tools needed are shown. Start by turning off the ignition and disconnecting the negative battery cable. Unplug the MAF sensor connector and disconnect the two clips holding the wiring harness to the airbox. Lift up on the airbox tab and pull out the locating pin on the stock air intake tube. Loosen the hose clamp. Remove the M6 bolt and disconnect the two latches securing the airbox together. Remove the front half of the airbox with the filter intact by lifting out of the vehicle. Disconnect the stock intake tube from the stock airbox. Remove the stock airbox from the vehicle. Remove the rubber bushings underneath the stock airbox and reinstall on the stock airbox locating pins. Disengage the resonator's plastic locating tab above the driver's side headlight. Raise the vehicle to remove the left front wheel. Remove the 4 locating tabs and the 2 M6 bolts that hold the wheel well liner in place. Position the liner out of the way. Remove the 2 M6 bolts in the fender well brace that hold the resonator and harness bracket in place. Remove the 2 M4 screws and pull out the MAF sensor. Install the MAF sensor and 2 M4 screws that were just removed and tighten into the AEM intake tube. Install one of the provided rubber bushings in the bracket where you removed the M6 bolt previously and tighten. Install the second rubber bushings into the outside bolt hole in the fender well brace, making sure to capture the harness bracket and tighten. Install the AEM intake tube by inserting it into the opening next to the battery and into the lower fender well first, and then gently maneuver it into position. Position the AEM tube inside the stock intake hose and align the bracket with the rubber bushing. Tighten the hose clamp and the provided M6 nut and washer. Align the lower portion of the AEM intake tube bracket on top of the rubber bushing and tighten the provided M6 nut and washer. Install the AEM air filter onto the intake tube and tighten the provided hose clamp. On some trim models, the air filter may need to be rotated to fit properly. Reinstall the fender well liner and the wheel. Reattach the MAF sensor connector onto the MAF sensor. Lastly, reconnect the vehicle's negative battery cable. Double check to make sure everything is tight and properly positioned before starting the vehicle. It will be necessary for all AEM intake systems to be checked periodically for realignment, clearance, and tightening of all connections. Failure to follow the installation instructions or proper maintenance may void warranty. AEM manufactures performance air intakes, Dryflow air filters, and other performance products that are engineered to outperform. Visit AEMintakes.com to learn more or to search for products by vehicle, dimension, cross-reference or even by vehicle identification number.